Oleksandr Syrskyi is new commander-in-chief of Ukrainian army. How? What? Why? Let us find out in this episode. Good afternoon. This is Henry Keane on UATV English. Our team is here to bring some hard truth in easy terms for the whole free world directly from Ukraine as usual. Ukraine has changed the military command of the General Staff. The commander-in-chief now is Oleksandr Syrskyi. General Valery Zaluzhnyi remains in the team, but it's not yet clear the direction he will be engaged in. Volodymyr Zelensky named the reasons for the changes. This is about the army as a system in general, about the management of it, and about attracting the experience of battlefield commanders to it and makes use of it. As every soldier, every sergeant, and every officer who ever saw the front line understands what decisions are needed. Ukrainian army must become much more technologically advanced. The generalship, that is commanding generals system, must be reset. Headquarters at all levels must understand and feel the front line, just like soldiers that are actually there.
I'm grateful to General Zaluzhnyi for 2 years of defense. I'm grateful for every victory we have achieved together, and thanks to all Ukrainian warriors who heroically bear the brunt of this war. Today we had a frank discussion about the changes needed in the army, urgent changes. I offered General Zaluzhnyi to continue to be part of the Ukrainian state team. I would be grateful for his consent.
So what about the new commander-in-chief, Oleksandr Syrskyi? He has been the commander of the ground forces of the Ukrainian armed forces since 2019. But before that, with the beginning of Russian aggression in the spring of 2014, Syrskyi was appointed chief of staff of the anti-terrorist operation in Donbas region. At the beginning of the full-scale Russian invasion, it was Syrsky who was responsible for the defense of Kiev. Syrsky is one of the authors of the counter-offensive operation to liberate the Kharkov region. Syrsky also led the defense of Soledar and Bakhmut. It was these two operations that exhausted the Russian army the most, preventing it from successfully attacking along the entire front line. Now the new commander-in-chief of Ukrainian army announces new main tasks right after appointment.
The introduction of new technical solutions and the scaling of successful experience, such as the use of unmanned systems, modern means of radio-electronic warfare, is one of the future vectors of building victory in our war of liberation. Oleksandr Syrskyi, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, on Telegram.
Well, surely the Russian media and propaganda will spread hundreds of fakes about Syrsky, in particular Zaluzhnyi and the Ukrainian army in general. My advice, have fun watching it. Just remember on what tree Russian dogs are barking at. Oleksandr Syrskyi bears a Hero of Ukraine medal for the defense of Kiev. Valery Zaluzhnyi received this title just today. If you still think that there could be any disagreements between the two, then while you are watching Russian propaganda, just turn this as a background video. So any change in military leadership is not a problem, but a necessity to make the army capable and standing firm. And this is exactly the case with the Ukrainian army, which stood firm both with Zaluzhnyi back then and now moves on with Syrsky. It does it, and it will be victorious with these two outstanding generals. And not only because of them, but mostly because we simply have no other choice but victory. Ukrainians are at home. Another 100 fighters are brought back to Ukraine from Russian captivity. The majority of them are defenders of Mariupol from the National Guard, Armed Forces and Border Guard. In total, 3,135 Ukrainians have been released from Russian captivity as of today. The coordination headquarters reported that at least 28 people of the 100 were injured or seriously ill. This is the 51st exchange of prisoners and third one in 2024. Before this, for 6 months, no exchanges were carried out at all. Please don't even think we don't want our soldiers back to Ukraine. The Kremlin simply decided to use prisoners of war for its own purposes, which is usual, to destabilize the situation inside Ukraine, to intimidate our soldiers. Usual Russian stuff, if you will. On January 24th, Russians made up a story that armed forces of Ukraine shot down that Il-76 aircraft near Belgorod and our soldiers were on board, but the facts show completely otherwise. Well, anyway, the crux of it is the Kremlin can say whatever. What I know is a fact is that the oldest returned Ukrainian prisoner of war is 62 years old. The youngest is 20. That takes 3 generations. So 3 generations of people facing one great enemy who's ready to kill anyone so only to remain in control. Think of that next time when asking yourself if Putin is ready to go nuclear. Comrade Putin had 2-hour dialogue with another comrade, Tucker. No, I didn't miss this dialogue. Well, how could I? But I advise you to watch it only if you have spare 2 hours to be spent onto a dialogue between a deluded dictator indicted by International Criminal Court and, let's call him a journalist. This is a chat and no way an interview. It will be suitable for, I don't know, a barbecue party thrown after a couple of beers, couple of six-packs, really. Then all this nonsense these two managed to invest in these 2 hours will be justified, because I haven't heard that much nonsense in such a short period of time in all of my life. Putin was happily repeating the same narrative he always was. Just so you know, Putin said that Adolf Hitler was forced to attack Poland in 1939. Oh, poor Hitler. Poland forced him to invade and burn it, to murder millions of Poles. It all was a necessity, says Putin. And looks like Carlson agrees to it. Again, Tucker agrees to that the Kremlin dictator wants to denazify Ukraine, while Putin himself is openly justifying the greatest execution of the 20th century, Adolf Hitler. Then comes even more fun, if you like, a sort of a schizo-fascistic version of it. In order to prove that Ukrainians and Russians are the same very nation, Putin mentioned historical documents of great Ukrainian leader Bogdan Khmelnytsky, originating from the 17th century. He just mentions this document, never bothering even to show it, thus showing nothing but his ability to adjust any historical fact to the crooked laws of that dictatorial realm running in his head. I would not be much surprised if Putin wants to take California and Alaska as they were Russian once and should be returned to Russia today. Then, as if there was not enough nonsense spoken already, Putin said that Ukraine was founded by Vladimir Lenin in 20th century. Really? But who was that guy who then was Bogdan Khmelnytsky? Named by Putin himself, who, due to Putin himself, wrote that mysterious letter a few hundred years ago? Or is the cache memory of Putin talk is like 10 minutes max, after which one should just forget what has been said and spoken and enjoy new reality, fresh created by Soviet Tsar. And in 10 minutes, another one. That is 6 realities per hour. So this is impressive, isn't it? Just ask yourself, really, should the Ukrainians have any negotiations with this pseudo-historian and an international terrorist? As I said, it was a dialogue and not an interview. Well, Tucker Carlson promised to ask Putin tough questions. But he never even mentioned Bucha or Mariupol or even Navalny. Well, only one thing worth adding here. Comrade Tucker is a new chip of the old bloc, meaning that the respective professional qualities of the two comrades, Tucker and Putin, journalism and democratic leadership, are not only similar, they are equal. That is, none. Thank you so very much for watching this episode. It was Henry Keane on UATV Studio as usual, bringing the hard truth in easy terms, and I hope you like what we do for you. If you really do, help us in return. Like, share, subscribe. Help us to deliver Ukrainian vision and voice worldwide. And please make it be heard and let us know what you think of what is happening in the comments below. We appreciate that a lot. Please stay safe and please stay tuned for more. See you tomorrow, folks. Oh no, on Sunday in a weekly. Bye.